with this. Again, the LAPD says that they have successfully ended. Oh, there is a news conference now that looks like the mayor of LA. Let's listen in.
There also sustained some wound either then or gunfire wound, or later on as he pulled her into his grandmother's car. LAPD was able to follow that car using technology with LoJack. That car came through Hollywood Division. He fired at police officers and blew out the back of his car window, as I understand, on the borderline of Hollywood and Northeast Division. And then, again, the officers that were in pursuit were able to follow him to here, and then he crashed right next to the Trader Joe's. It was there where there was exchange of gunfire. The suspect was wounded in his left arm, and he went inside. I regret to inform you that there is one fatality that occurred inside of a woman. We will have details forthcoming, but of course family notification and trying to figure out more details. We don't have anything more than that, but she was pulled out by the police department from the store. Fire department was able to take her, treat her on site, but she was pronounced here on site. Throughout this, LAPD has done an extraordinary job, and I want to thank them and our fire department. The heroism that was shown today was second to none. And the teams that were able to respond, secure the perimeter, and engage in conversation with the suspect, no doubt saved lives today. He did answer his phone. He was in regular communication with Los Angeles Police Department. Won't go into any great details, but there were hostages both released and saved by LAPD throughout the last couple hours. We believe there was about 40 to 50 people that were left there initially, and there was a slow but steady stream of them, either those who had hid inside the Trader Joe's and were helped out by LAPD getting in there and saving them, or whether it was the suspect himself releasing some of the individuals that were in there as well. Most importantly for families right now that are wondering about their loved ones, we have set up the Family Reunification Center at the Northeast Division of the Los Angeles Police Department. That is on San Fernando Road, and there are folks there able to answer this phone number so that you can be reunified with your loved ones. There are no other fatalities to announce. The number that you can call is 323-561-3211. One more time, that's 323-561-3211. The suspect at the end asked for handcuffs. He handcuffed himself and then released himself into the custody of LAPD. As I mentioned, LAFD, our fire department, is under LAPD's careful eye treating the suspect's wounds. We also have the mayor's crisis response team on site, and we're calling in backup to that to help folks who have been traumatized by the experience. We know there were children that were in there, employees and others, and so that is on site, and they are at Northeast, or being transported over to Northeast Division where family reunification can occur and where they can get the counseling that they need, and we will be with them. One last note, this is an ongoing investigation, and this area will probably be, that investigation will take maybe 12 to 14 hours as a guesstimate right now, which means this area will be closed down while the investigation of multiple matters in this can run its course. Obviously, the store will remain closed as well for tonight, and we'll let Trader Joe's announce its plans moving forward. But the last thing I want to say is just a big thank you to the incredible bravery that was demonstrated by the men and women who responded to this. From our first responders, I want to thank especially to Councilmember David Ryu for being here and being on site. And let me now turn it over to, I'll say some words in Spanish at the end, but let me turn it over to our chief, Mike Moore, for some more detail. Mike.
Mayor, thank you. So let me begin my remarks by stating that, as the mayor indicated, I'll provide some additional details, but we are very early in this investigation, and so the level of detail is going to be, I'm sure, something short of what you would ask for. We'll take some questions at the end as well, but let me stress that what I'm about to provide you is our understanding as we stand here at this moment. At about 1:30 today, as the mayor indicated, there was a shooting on 32nd Street in the Newton area of South Los Angeles. It involved this individual, this male, black. He is approximately 28 years of age, and he shot his grandmother multiple times. In the course of that attack, a young woman was also injured, and he forcibly took her from that residence and drug her to a vehicle and then left the scene. Our ability to identify him and also the vehicle that was stolen allowed us, using LoJack technology, to locate that vehicle in the Hollywood area. Uniformed officers from Hollywood Patrol attempted to stop that vehicle, and a pursuit ensued. During the course of that pursuit, the gunman inside the suspect fired on our officers multiple times, and ultimately, as the mayor indicated, crashed here, or his vehicle stopped here at the Trader Joe's business here on Hyperion. At that point, and there's this crime scene extends well beyond the Trader Joe's itself. There are shell casings, we believe, from the suspect's weapon in the middle of the street. But as the suspect exited the vehicle there, an additional gun battle ensued between the officers and the suspect. Suspect did suffer, as the mayor indicated, an injury to his left arm, and he went into the store. Inside the store, a young woman was shot and killed. Our officers rescued that woman from inside and attempted to render aid with the assistance of LA Fire, and unfortunately were unable to revive her. Her identity has not yet been confirmed, and so we are not going to be able to provide you any further information about her. Once inside the store, the gunman, still armed with a handgun, took numerous victims of citizens as well as store employees hostage and held them against their will. Over the next 3 hours, efforts by the Los Angeles Police Department, the Los Angeles SWAT, members of D-Team, as well as Metropolitan officers, were able to rescue a number of the customers and store employees from other entry points into that store. Additionally, the gunman released a number of hostages as well, and continued in his remarks with us. And through our crisis negotiation team of SWAT, involving a psychologist as well as our tactical members, that dialogue resulted in ultimately him handcuffing himself and coming outside and surrendering to SWAT officers approximately 3 hours after this horrific ordeal began. Where we are at now is efforts to clear the rest of that building, the rest of that store, of any remaining hostages, because there were a number of people that barricaded themselves in different parts of that store to protect themselves from this gunman. We are making sure that we've found everyone that's there, and we're transporting them again to Northeast Station. The address for that reunification center is 3353 North San Fernando Road. That's 3353 North San Fernando Road. Again, the phone number is 323-561.
All right, we've been listening there to the LA police chief as well as the mayor of Los Angeles. We had been reporting for most of the evening that there had been one wounded. We're now being told that there was one woman who was shot and killed by that suspect inside the store. When the gunman fled into the store, there were around 40 or 50 people inside. He was wounded in the arm in a shootout with the police, and he killed one woman inside that store. That is after he had fled another shooting incident in which he shot at his grandmother 7 times. The LAPD says that the suspect is in custody. He is now being treated by the fire department. This hostage standoff that lasted for some 3 hours has now come to an end, with one person in custody and one woman killed. I'm Alex Marquardt. Up next is the CNN original series, The 2000s. Good night.